Have you, my wonderful viewer, ever heard of the All Pops challenge on Chimps, where you go all the way to around 100 using only one tower to pop every single balloon on the screen? Well, let's up the antics by going up to around 140 doing the same challenge with the biggest of sharks. That means every single pop needs to be done with this single tower. So we're going to summon the fishes and the dinosaurs, which are somehow the same the same time when it comes to repositioning them, which is a little bit weird. Keep in mind that we can provide camo detection to our beast handler here by using an invisibility potion from Geraldo to the beast handler itself, but we cannot so easily grant ourselves with lead popping potential for round 28 and round 30. So that's why we need to go with the Adosaurus rather than the horned owl path when it comes to cross-pathing for this particular challenge. Speaking of Geraldo, we can now place down this wonderful handsome individual, and hopefully you do not get a single pop. This big load of balloons over here, we're going to move the dinosaur so that we have a little bit more coverage of the field, but primarily I like this spot over here just so that these two can try and pop the same balloon at the same time roughly. We've done this challenge previously where we get all pops for around 140 with a single... Oh, this one's going to be a bit of a inconvenience. No, we're going to have to restart this round, and keep in mind when it comes to strong balloons. There we go, that's much better. No more yellow balloons, although there is a sneaky green balloon, but that's not going to be too much of a worry. So we've done this challenge previously where we got all pops R140 previously with the Pirate Lord and the Gigantosaurus, sorry. So let's do this with the Megalodon, but it's not as effective as the Gigantosaurus because it doesn't have an ability, and it just doesn't attack as fast, and it's a little bit inconsistent with its attack sometimes, so you have to keep that in mind. But maybe that's just me and my clumsy experience, but let's see. Adosaurus, you're somehow not able to actually target the green balloons there, even though you are parked on first. Nothing like a bit of microing can do to solve our issues here. And a bit of microing we shall do, because that is what is required to win this game. We are still having issues. Let's go... We need to go with Adosaurus at some point, but let's go Barracuda for the time being. And we've got a larger attack radius with our fish. Good. That seems to be better on that round. The only downside is that, well, the range of the fish itself is only deployable where there is water, whereas with the dinosaur you can pretty much put it anywhere on the land, and with a bird you can put it pretty much anywhere where it has track. So they've all got their own limitations, which is very creative when it comes to tower design from Ninja Kiwi, and just in general really. They've all got their own different weaknesses and strengths. Now is the Adosaurus. Now would you please behave, otherwise I'm gonna have to get Geraldo and his glue out. Can we manage round 21 without any external support? And that answer is it's doable, but we need micromanaging. You know what, we will get the glue out, because these yellows and pinks are a right pain in the backside. And they didn't make it far at all. The power of the glue. Did you know that black balloons and white balloons are easier to deal with than yellow balloons? That's just because you're doing more damage to them, and therefore they're more compacted. Let's see, we need some invisibility potion. Normally you put some nails at the end of a track, but this is an all pops challenge. We do want to make our fish and dinosaur more powerful, so we're going to have auto start off so we can put down more beast handlers without the risk of them stealing any pops, which is what I think is a very ideal thing to do for this particular scenario. When it comes to range coverage with your cross path, it's better to buy 3 of the Microraptors rather than buy 1 Adosaurus, so that you have more range coverage of where you can put your little ones. This is why I went with Adosaurus over Horned Owl. It means we can pop these lead balloons without worrying about not having Jerry's fire for these particular rounds. Actually, thinking of that, I don't think we're going to need Jerry's fire at all for this run. Like, at all. We can do this Jerry Fireless, which is super rare when it comes to this kind of scenario, and deploying down Geraldo. Geraldo here only has niche usages, like giving invisibility potion early on. Speaking of this particular factor, I think it's time we're going to deploy down some villages. We're going to deploy down 2 of these villages. Both of them are going to have monkey commerce. One of them is going to be a top path one, and the other one's going to be a middle path one. Just so that we can make our upgrades just slightly bit cheaper, and able to buff our glue gunners so that they are able to have, well, decreased ability recharge time and more range on them. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, but I just like doing that. I also like the fact that, well, you can make your towers a little bit cheaper as well, which is good. Although ideally we should really go for radar scanner. But you know what? This is my run and we can do what we like. I mean, I can do what I like, but you're still watching because you're awesome. Now that the Adasaurus is at full power, it's soloing white balloons and black balloons, making lead balloons go down to red, making zebras go down to greens, and so on and so forth. Okay, now we can afford radar scanner. We will get another invisibility potion later on, but that's only like in the last 15 rounds or so, when we can do just that slightly bit more damage to the DDTs. Jungle drums. Let's see, round 40. MOAB. We'll move the Adasaurus around because, well, we're confined to the small square with the fish, so there's no point moving the fish around. It's got as much range as it can possibly have anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see, get you down there. Yeah, we've got a pretty good amount of range here with our beloved Fiend here. Also, we can still have the option of going with either the Velociraptor or the Great White. But obviously, A, this is going to be the Megalodon, and B, we've already done Gigantosaurus, so there's no point going there anyways. Also now, we can upgrade these. We're not going to upgrade this, obviously, because this is already at max power. Barracuda, Barracuda, Barracuda. Oh yeah, I forgot this is under the monkey commerce. Maybe that would have been your strategy by just having all of these here, but then I wouldn't have as much coverage with my dinosaur. Oh, pink balloons are just a little bit quick, aren't they? So, leave up to that. Go primary mentoring. And then once we have the money for said glue gunner, then we will put it on the field. And then it will start slowing down the balloons, thank you very much. Yeah, please slow down the firstmost pink balloon, because they seem to be getting away for some odd reason. Their speed is a little bit of an issue. I'm not too sure on the popology of the great whale, if it can pop lead balloons on its own. Like, I'm pretty sure it's big enough and its jaws are big enough to pop lead balloons. I'd be surprised if the Orca could not. But I'm questioning if the great white... Sorry, yeah, okay. I called it great shark, now I'm calling it great white because that's its name. My bad. Now that it's at max power, it can instantaneously wipe out MOABs, which is pretty cool. But I still think we need to concentrate a little bit about speed control of these balloons. So we're going to go with glue hose, and we're going to go glue strike, or no. We should concentrate on the Orca next, if I'm to be honest. The biggest advantage of the top path being the fishy path is that it can instantaneously wipe out MOAB class balloons, which is just a huge blessing. But the only downside I would say is that its splash attack that it has can cause nearby damage to other balloons, and in some cases you don't want that, because then you have more targets to try and bring down into the depths. Here we go, here's the Orca, and at max power, the Orca can drag down ZOMGs. Alright, let's get ourselves an overclock when we can afford it. That's going to be our next target. Because, well, the Orca is just, not as expensive, but it's nearly expensive, more expensive than the overclock. So I think overclock is better because we'll be able to be able to drag them down a little bit faster. It's able to commence its attack a bit faster once it goes down into the depths. What can it do to the BFB at this stage? Well, it's not grabbing it at the moment. Actually, I should have put you over here so that you can affect these balloons over here a bit sooner. Well, it can instantly drag down a BFB. That's brilliant. Oh my god, there's a community challenge called MegaloCHIMPS 140. Afford a Megalodon in chimps and beat round 140 with using Megalodon's insta-kill attack. As the Fortified BAD must be popped by Megalodon's attack, so you need to afford Megalodon before round 140 begins. Well, guess what? We're going to afford it before round 100 begins. Also, this is a good usage of the glue gunner here. Slows down all of these huge waves of ceramics. Yeah, this glue gunner is honestly fantastic, otherwise all of these balloons will be all over the screen because this is a limited amount of attack speed, just like, well, with every other tower in the game. It's like it's really dependent on its power going towards a particular direction, so that's just something to keep in mind when it comes to these sort of things. Oh, we can afford overclock now. Oh, it takes a bit longer to drag down fortified balloons. That's a good way of compensating because of the fact that they are, well, twice as powerful, so therefore they would take twice as long to drag down to the depths. It is a shame that overclock does not benefit the bird path of a beast handler, because I honestly think it should do. Because I think actually when the beast handler originally came out, overclock was able to buff the bird, but Ninja Kiwi changed its programming so that it only buffs the fish path and the dino path. That's just like the most generic and broad way I can describe each path without saying like, oh, here is the little piranhas and the barracudas and the great whale or the great white and the orca and the megalodon, etc. The other two paths of the beast handler. The overclock, I think, and ultra boost respectively is best utilized with the middle path beast handler, because I think this only increases the potential of this coming out of the waters and being able to attack balloons. And obviously with the bird path it doesnn't benefit at all, but with the dinosaur, it should straight up attack a balloon with a set amount of damage. But again, the fish does have a set amount of damage, and if the blimp exceeds that amount, then it can't drag it down, but it does damage it. Unlike a particular thing with ZOMGs, which just like, it doesn't like ZOMGs at all unless it has a MOAB that somehow enables the vulture-like bird to target ZOMGs but can attack bats, which makes no sense. Also, round 76, let's see how this does. Oh, it completely wipes them out. But it did have a Pierce camp there, which is interesting. We do need 3 additional orcas. Sorry, 4 additional orcas. No, wait, that is the first orca, actually. So we need 3 additional orcas alongside the first one in order to actually get it so that we can actually go with the Megalodon. It's weird how... it's weird how you can get 4, then buy the tier 5, and then sell the other 3 as if they don't exist. I honestly think so that as long as you have the tier 5 one active, then the 3 orcas that you assigned to the Megalodon should not be sellable. Just like as if it's a chimp scenario, because they're assigned to that tier 5 tower, so therefore they shouldn't be sold at all, because they have a function to align themselves with the tier 5 tower. But then when you sell the tier 5, then it should also sell these 3, or maybe it actually that's probably not a good idea actually, but it could be so that when the tier 5 is sold, then the 4 orcas are resummoned. I'm thinking too far ahead on this thing, but we do not have a max powered orca, so therefore this is only going to try and, yeah, it's only damaging it rather than bringing it down. There we go, now we can bring it down. It's an incredibly busy week for me as of the time of this recording, which is why I didn't have a video out on Wednesday, which I do apologize. One of my co-workers, who usually does Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and also Fridays as well, has been really unwell recently. And unfortunately, when they were discharged from hospital, a few hours afterwards, as they were going home, they were hit by a scooter. And I'm like, how much more bad luck can you have? I'm like, this person is going through some bad ordeals at the moment, and it's like, there's not really much I can do personally aside just sending them my wishes and wishing them their recovery to go smoothly and all that. It's like, when you come down to it, sometimes you just feel so powerless and not able to do much when somebody is otherwise poorly or in a lot of pain. And it just shows like how powerless we can be at times when it comes to our individual efforts, which is why when it comes to like doing a successful job with something, cooperation is key, and you are needing to be able to work with others. Like working on your own is obviously something that you have to do, but you have to be able to work with others in order to achieve great things. Like let's say with this channel, for example, like there have been like other people which have really helped me when it comes to my content creation, not necessarily like with the editing stage, but it was like, let's say with the understanding of towers and all that jazz. Because when I first begun like 2 megapops, I was like, all I was thinking about was putting down the tower that I desired to get 2 megapops with, and then just instantly go with permabrew. Whereas nowadays that is something that I never ever do, or rarely do, because well, of the one big drawback of getting it. I forgot to mention we've now got 3 assisting Orcas merged with our main Orca here. So now we've got to raise 48,600 in order to get the Megalodon. For the MegaloCHIMPS 140, we're going to do even better than the community challenge. Not only are we going to get MegaloCHIMPS 140, sorry, but we're going to get every single pops with it. And Geraldo is not going to get a single pop, and our overclock is not going to get a single pop. The only things that are popping are our huge shark here and our not so deadly little dinosaur here. Yeah, some of these fortified ceramics are a little bit of an issue here, because they can evade our means of attacking if they're not within our path. So let's deal with these. Our splash attack is dealing some damage to the ZOMGs, and now they're like that. Sometimes the splash attack of the Orca is a hindrance rather than a help. But in other cases, a help rather than a hindrance. It's all about when it's used and whatever balloons are on the screen at that given point in time of where it's going. Oh, that was very close to the exit there. But now it's round 95. Now we're going to truly test if the Orca can target and pop the DDTs. Obviously with radar scanner it can. Oh, it can by default. Lovely. So the Orca is definitely capable of lead popping potential. But, oh my god, they're nearing the X. Oh, it dragged that DDT. That was... I thought I had it there, but then again, when do I ever have good luck? You know what, just to help us out here, we will deploy Jerry's Fire. I did say we were going to be Jerry Fireless earlier on, but I'm taking that back now. No, still not doing round 95 successfully. Sometimes this game is largely reliant on RNG, and I hate that in a way because it does... Sometimes all it takes is a single balloon to annoy your day. Oh, really? Again with the single ceramic? Okay, it's time to put our big boy pants on. Let's bring out the relentless glue, or more importantly, the MOAB glue for this scenario, because these DDTs are annoying me now. Can we do it? Is this for one? Yes, I think this is for one, unless some stupid ceramic surprises us, which is not going to be the case. Okay, all it takes was a middle path glue gunner to resolve our issues here. Not Jerry Fireless for the video, but Jerry Fireless for the challenge, if you get what I mean, because there's no Jerry's Fire on our beast handler at this given point in time. A temporary setback to our money situation, but there's nothing that we cannot handle, especially with that this can solo a ZOMG without there being a single bit of trouble whatsoever. And now we have the money for the Megalodon. We're going to go back to auto start off, and this is just dragging them down. Like, that's brilliant. Just automatically drag down fortified ZOMGs as quickly as possible. That's brilliant. Let's just merge that with you. So let's just go with some great whites. Going to be cheaper than more Orcas. And round 98, as you can just see, instantaneously demolishing the competition here. Yes, let's just soak up the ZOMGs first before BFBs. Like, that's something you normally do in round 98, isn't it? And now, our shop is complete, but guess what? We don't care, Geraldo. Actually, I do care. You know, Paragon power totems and all that. Did you know you can buff a Megalodon using Paragon power totems? And that's definitely not the case. Look at that, instantly kills the bad. We need 8 more power for the Megalodon to be a fully powered Megalodon. So in that regard, we are going to need ourselves at least another one. Or should I go with just another Orca? Nah, we're going to put down another one. And that's actually it, because it's a cumulative power. So this gives +8 exactly. So therefore you can have 3 Orcas and the rest of them being just great whites, and they'll give you the maximum power that you need. Although the only downside is, because of the fact we put these under the discount villages, is that, well, we can't really put this in as many places as we normally would, but the dinosaur is now irrelevant. Sorry though, Dino, but you are completely going to be swallowed up by this Megalodon if it had the choice to do that. Or if it could possibly do that. With the rest of our money, we're going to invest in an Ultra Boost, and then if we have any remaining money left over, a Glue Storm for our endeavors, because there's going to be nothing else which is going to be getting any pop, so there's no double-edged sword factor when it comes to Glue Strike and Glue Storm with other towers stealing pops, because this is the only tower that is getting pops. Am I right, Geraldo? It's just something so satisfying with this huge-ass shark swallowing a gigantic blimp. I swear, the course of World War II would have been completely different if they had these in the sea. The enemy wouldn't know what was hitting them, except they would have to be stealth sharks. Otherwise, well, they could be easily avoidable and destroyable. So yeah, I do not condone violence against sea creatures, even if they are going to be ones which could cause our doom if we enter their waters anyways. I just don't like violence in that factor. Real life violence, no. In-game violence, 99% of the time, okay with. There could be other touchy subjects which I would never ever play from other games, which I'll never encounter because I don't want to encounter them. You may never know. Let's see, round 111, what are we doing here? We're 40k away from the Ultra Boost. These are going very smoothly. The only hiccup so far was some of the early rounds and around 95. But now that we've got the Megalodon, things are going to be snappingly awesome. When it comes to Paragons, I think the 2 most complicated towers which can be a Paragon is going to be the Super Monkey Paragon, because of the sacrifices put to the true sun god in order to make it a Paragon. And then there's also the factor of the beast handler, because I believe the fact that, well, there's 3 different beasts going on here. So is there going to be some kind of incredibly powerful and rare ancient mythological creature that imbues the powers of all 3? It would have to be some kind of mythical creature from the tales of old in a fantasy scenario that is just abominably powerful. Like if it can combine all of the might of the Megalodon, the Gigantosaurus, and the bird which I cannot pronounce to save my life. Like it would have to be able to have the means to fly, pick up balloons, it would be able to instantly kill certain balloons, and it would stomp the entire battlefield, where it could possibly even temporarily stun bad, but that's kind of like not a good thing to do, because in the past there was such a thing as a cleansing foam which could slow down bad if you put the pin effect down, or even just like, I think it's only like the, hold on, I need to just look at this. Was it oversized nails? It increases the potential of foam, but pin actually is the thing that slows down balloons when they are in the foam itself, so I'm not too sure really. Round 119. instantly killing the bad is what we need, because I've done some testing with this particular round, and the second bad that spawns on this round, only that bad can be damaged by balloons which are necessarily behind this log here, but the first one and the third one cannot be damaged by any balloons behind this log here. But if you go into sandbox and just spawn out bads generally, then if you have multiple bads near enough each other, then for some odd reason, any towers behind cover such as this can somehow bypass that line of sight blockage and be able to, well, target things, which is really stupid. We've now got Ultra Boost, which is lovely. Is it going to be necessary though? That is still up in the air. I just like to think that we have better chances with the Ultra Boost. And guess what, okay? With these Megapod scenarios, the Ultra Boost is a very rare tower to see. Like, you would only have it on, like, let's say, the Ultra Juggernaut, for example. Or any other super cheap tower. I'm not too sure if, like, Super Maelstrom and Ultra Boost is a good combination, because I don't think the Ultra Boost itself affects abilities, but it just affects the main attack itself. Main reason for going Glue Strike and then Glue Storm, it just means that the splash attack of the Megalodon does that little bit of extra damage, and we can kind of control the speed of these lingering ceramics because they are going really fast. Not planning on investing in a balloon sabo because we don't need it, and I don't fancy with the layout we have here on this log. I don't trust this log. You better stay at 0 pops, Geraldo, for goodness sakes, okay? I don't trust you and my past experiences with you just suddenly getting pops. We now have a max stacks ultra boost on the beast handler here. Honestly, this is just an absolute sublime experience that we have right now. Progress update. Nothing really else has gone on because the Megalodon is just doing what the Megalodon does best. We have a very hungry fish in the waters here, and this physically shouldn't be able to fit the Megalodon in this tiny little pond of water here. You need something like the I've got Spice Islands, like waters like those. Like, if there was ever like a condition where you can only summon a particular sized fish depending on the body of water that there is in the game, like, that would be stupidly pedantic of Ninja Kiwi to do, but it's like, just to fit in their like more suitable environments for mainly where fishes are like. Obviously like birds, but I think dinosaurs like the most adapt creatures to their environments. I don't know, I'm not a dinosaur expert. I just like playing this game and, I don't know, popping balloons. Did you know this game started based upon a single dart monkey throwing darts at a balloon? Like, isn't that just so cool? A monkey picking up a dart and then pointing it at a balloon, throwing it at the balloon, and then it pops the balloon by one layer, depending on what kind of balloonology that you design your, I was going to say design your game with, but then again that could be copyright infringement when it comes to balloons itself. But then again, the idea of balloons themselves is not copying, like BALLONS. Maybe I misspelled it. I don't know. All I know is that there's a bunch of DDTs on the screen that also look like sharks. We've got many different kind of sharks. Did you know that this is cannibalistic if you pop DDTs in the shark's skin with the Megalodon? It's eating its own kind. But don't worry, it's becoming more powerful with each shark DDT being popped. Like, that would be a very stupid and weird but insane gimmick of the game, where if you have the shark skin on your DDT... I've just realised we went through round 138. That's just brilliant. And we instantly killed the Fortified BAD. Kapuya. And this one. Kapuya. And we're getting that as well because we can, okay? And we're getting that. And we're putting, I don't know, these down. Because guess what? Because we can. Hell yeah. Every single pop in Chimps round 140 from the start being done by the Megalodon and the Allosaurus, along with their predecessors as well, don't forget about that. So thank you all so much for watching this video. This has been a bit more of a relaxing video because we have such a powerful tier 5 tower here. Like these 3 tier 5 towers, I'd definitely say that the Puyaki, or whatever it's pronounced as, is the weakest one out of the 3, but all of them are so optimal. I just wish the bottom path can be ultra boosted. Like, that's my only complaint about it. But so they can flap its wings harder. That's what I'd like to think. It can flap its wings harder and attack faster. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please ensure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I called it Nom Nom. I could have all done that with the Gigantosaurus as well for this scenario, but we do what we do, and that is awesome. Also, like on the 16th of January 2024, there's issues with a creator support code sort of synergy with the game, which is why that was down. And the pop-up of requiring internet connection was always there, but I'm glad that's resolved now. Ninja Kiwi is always on the ball when it comes to fixing issues like this. So I'm really grateful to Ninja Kiwi for supporting us creators by doing this immediately upon notice of the issue, because I'm sure there are many other companies out there that know about issues but refuse to fix them because they're probably not big enough for the company to be able to, I don't know, care. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, everybody.